Hey, Miguel Lloyd, host of Life Full Circle Radio, and time to get it in because Sunday is our new spot, at least until football season comes back around. And for all y'all out there, like y'all still supporting the NFL, I like football, and I like to watch black athletes, and it entertains me. I don't like greedy owners. I don't like when black people got treated like crap. And I like Colin Kaepernick because he's a noob. But I like football.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You almost called him Colin. You really just almost said Colin Kaepernick.
That right there, hold on, let me get that. That right there, that's the super producer Kia. And she's over there doing what she's doing. So if you're on social media, make sure you guys are following us. She's over there doing one thing because we got some announcements going. Might as well make it now. We probably won't do it this week unless we just get some people in the chat and they just say, hey man, where y'all at? But we're going to start to do some follow-up of the show live on this app called Fanbase. My man Isaac Hayes III owns it. He's a you can look it up, Fanbase, and you'll see him. And then Snoop is on there, and he's been on Bloomberg, and he's doing a whole lot of amazing stuff over there. And I had a chance to hop, to meet with him last week. And
there's some cool people on here for it to be an app I've never heard of. I'm a little surprised, and now I'm trying to do the show. I'm like, wait, who else is on here right now?
Yeah. No, he's first of all, and this is not like is this a fake Isaac Hayes? No, this is the Isaac Hayes III. Real cool dude. He's a tech entrepreneur based here in Atlanta, and so he's doing some amazing stuff, and so we're going to check it out. And the good thing about it is that you have an opportunity to monetize. We'll talk about that later because we don't just get on here and just run our mouths. We're actually in the business of digital marketing, and that's why Kia is totally distracted right now because she just downloaded the app.
Also, my family's calling me on the group messenger. It's buzzing right now.
Let them know we on the air, man. All right, so this week we going this week with
I'm working right now.
Oh, okay. Do I need to go to the one shot?
Hi, everybody. Meet my family.
Tell them if they want to come on the show. We got slots. They want to come on the show. Is that your brother Gary? I think is that Gary?
Yep, that's Gary, and that's his soon-to-be wife, I think. And then that's my mom. You know Mama Blanche.
Mama Blanche. We will have a special show just for Mama Blanche. She has got to come on the show. She's been one of my favorite people because she's the mother of one of my favorite people. So we're going to have a special show just for your whole squad. All right,
Mother's Day is right around the corner. That'd be a great show.
Okay. Duly noted. And here's the thing. If I bring my mama on with your mama and maybe my mother-in-law, get the wine ready.
My mother-in-law, but you're not ready for that smoke.
I'm not.
You're not ready for the 4'11" Indian woman smoke.
Does she know how to cook up the bomb Indian recipes?
Oh, yes. She's the one who's taught me and been very particular. And she actually told me, you're good at this, but you're not good at roti. So we'll just keep working on you with that. I'm like, I appreciate that.
So hey, I'll take all the smoke in the world if she go teach me how to, because my kids love naan bread and we love, a lot of Indian food. So, I went to the easy stuff. We love naan bread, right? That's the only thing I knew I could just off the top of my head.
Roti it's like naan, but you hand clap it right when it comes off the fire. I have never seen someone pull something off of a heat and then clap it with their bare hands. Like it was nothing.
Hey, some of us are built differently. Some of us are built differently. Yes. All right, so this first time tuning in for Life Full Circle Radio, we take subject matter off the headlines. We dig a little bit deeper into it. And from what we can tell, it's a new week, same smoke, but this week it's including DL Hughley as Kanye West. Kia texted me like a couple hours ago, said, go to Kanye's Instagram now. Because for people who don't know, the whole thing that's going on with Kanye is that Kanye will get out there and he will post stuff, and then if you don't catch it, he'll pull it down. And people are scrambling and they snapshotting and everything because they know that they are not going to see it because Kanye is going to pull it down. But let's talk about Kanye Yeezy and what's the latest going on with him with Kanye West.
lately, this time around, he's fighting with DL Hughley of all people. But I kind of understand this because DL Hughley went on Vlad TV and Vlad asked him, what's his opinion about the Kanye situation. And DL Hughley was very matter of fact. This isn't funny. This isn't cute. It's stalking. It's abusive behavior. And it's just not okay. And he basically said that Kanye West was a lame with a lot of money, which I think some of us already knew that. I mean, if Kanye West was a regular guy, regular smuggler guy at the tech place, be like, don't talk to him. He puts apples in his chicken salad. It's weird. Don't talk to him. Don't sit by him. That sweater he has on, he's been wearing it for 5 days. He may be washing it. But Kanye got wind of it eventually, and was sending serious smoke at DL Hughley, like he was gonna run up on him, and it was just crazy. And now DL Hughley is back on Twitter now because he finds it entertaining. He finds it as comedic.
He's a comedian. He's a comedian. Yeah, Kings of Comedy. He's been a radio host for 15 years, and so.
But my real issue with this is now Kanye is saying, because he also is complaining about his daughter North being on TikTok. Okay, whatever. You complain about North being on TikTok, but he's saying it's a leftist agenda that doesn't want men to be fathers. And I'm like, now you're taking it the extra step where real adult people like me and Miguel have to go, no, you're taking it from the funny, crazy place to a serious place, and it's not okay. To me, at least.
Kanye, I don't know, man. See, here's the problem with Kanye. Kanye just makes enough sense sometimes that all of a sudden people are like, oh, well, that. Oh, bro, doggone, man. Like, we was with you, and then you done turned it into a Trump diatribe, and we just like, okay, now you Charlie Brown's teacher, and everybody is tuning you out. But the whole thing, because I think I saw it before he took it down. It was a video about Kim and him wanting to. It was some event in California, and the daughters couldn't come. And then, of course, I can relate to some stuff like that.
His Sunday service was today. And it was like a whole series of events that Kim does not want the kids at. And for valid reason. Everybody keeps acting like she's keeping him from the kids. It's not that. She's keeping them from craziness.
So let me make sure I'm clear. He's still doing the Sunday service joints?
Apparently, I thought that was a wrap. I didn't realize we were back in Sunday service mode as we threaten people to kill people, as we're decapitating my ex-wife's boyfriend in cartoon form, as I curse on social media and be upset. I'm also going to have Sunday service. What church is this? Is Jamal Bryant pastor at this church?
See, right there. See, lead Jamal Bryant, lead the new part of this. Jamal Bryant out there with Bishop McKissick and some other folks. They on vacation this weekend. Because I followed my man Bishop McKissick from Jacksonville. That's his boy. So anyway,
is he meeting a new girlfriend? Is he dating a new housewife? Oh, that's so fun. Anyway,
Jamal Bryant is not on this lineup today. We're gonna leave Jamal Bryant out of this. All right. So Kanye, man, he started talking about the situation. See, here's the thing about Kanye, and I'll be quick. I'll be honest with you. I'll be quick to defend brothers who dealing with issues with baby mamas and all that type of stuff.
Absolutely, because my husband went through it. You've gone through it.
Right.
We get it.
We get it. But you're quick with a Kanye West to be like, you probably ain't telling us the whole story. There's something else that's going on with this. And, and then when I listened to DL Hughley on Vlad, and Vlad's TV is a whole nother conversation about somebody I was watching, one of the comedians, and he was just saying, why are all these N-words going on Vlad and making Vlad all this money? Because they stay on his.
Are they wrong? How did Vlad become, again, a whole other conversation, how did Vlad become the guy?
I don't even know what Vlad looks like. I wonder if I can pull it. I don't even know what the dude looks like.
Vlad is he's not fat, but he's a thicker white guy. He's a thicker white short guy. That is who Vlad is. There's nothing spectacular about him. He just happened to be in this hip hop industry, and he has interviewed some of the best and crazy.
He interviews everybody.
He interviews everybody. He interviewed Boosie.
He interviews everybody. Like, you go to Vlad TVs, and don't go there now because you're watching us. But if you go to Vlad TV, man, he done got interviews with everybody. And a lot of them is controversial. And a lot of times the people who are on the show, he's asking some questions, and they're just like, why am I? It's like in the moment they realize, like, why did I give this dude this interview? Because he's asking some questions really pissing me off. So Kanye, man, I don't know, bro. I just... It's almost like, and I think he's still dropping new music. Anytime they're this active, I'm always assuming they got new projects coming out. Obviously, he just
Down to two.
Well, didn't it already come out on the little thing? The
I
little
have no idea. I don't have that little thing. I'm not paying that kind of money for that stupid little drive. I don't know. I
right,
just know
right. So it's
everybody's
for
talking about it.
right. So for people who may not know what we're talking about, he released a new album, and in order to get the album, you had to uh buy this $220 uh basically new age MP3 player, I believe, because I don't have it.
It's
Um,
called a stem player. It's his
stem
own
player,
stem player.
stem player.
And
You
it's
had
only available via his stem player. You can't
that's
get this
it.
album anybody or anywhere else. You have to get the stem player, and it runs
Yeah,
for
a lot of money.
$250.
A lot of money. And so I don't know, if you can. I've seen people who got the stem player, one or two people that I know. And so from a business model standpoint, that was the argument that he's getting 100% of the money and he's taking out the whatever. You
He's sold a lot of these though. I mean,
but that's
selling them.
just it. That's just it. With Kanye, we are not going to get, and it's only going to be by the grace of God that Kanye does not steadily get worse, because there's no reason from a business standpoint for him to get better. Whatever he does, it improves his value and his and in his overall in his businesses, and then all of a sudden more stuff is getting sold or whatever. So he's not going to get better except for the grace of God. Maybe one of those Sunday services, God will come down and walk on his stage and be like, okay, enough.
No, say enough. Okay, I thought you were gonna say something else.
Enough, Kanye,
Yeah.
enough.
Yep.
That's the only thing that I can see that's going to change it. This is not going to get better. But the DL Hughley situation
is not going to help in his divorce proceedings. Like, I know she was declared legally single. Their divorce and custody proceedings are not 100% over. So none of this.
Yeah,
none of this is helping.
Yeah,
and if he's trying to be the martyr for the single dad trying to be in their kid's life, this ain't it. This is not the model you should follow.
My understanding is like I said, all this stuff is it's all my understanding because I'm not in California. My understanding is that he bought a house across the street from Kim.
Yes. Yes, he did. Because that's not crazy at all.
You done bought a house across the street. Now, mind you, his across the street is different than our across the street, right? We would assume.
This is true.
But still, just the simple fact that every time he acts a plum fool, Kim could be like, okay, Kanye, don't ring my doorbell. Kanye, I see you on the Ring alarm. Stop. I see you on the Ring camera.
Well, maybe he can't get to the door, but don't ring the gate to the gate to the gate.
The gate to the gate.
Don't ring none of these doorbells.
Don't ring none of them. Don't make my security guys have to rough you up, or whatever. I don't know, man. Right. We gonna watch this stuff. Let's move on. So,
Juicy,
aka Jussie Smollet, who is I'm gonna let you start this because Jussie Smollet has not been on my radar for years. Empire, the last 2 seasons were trash from a writing perspective, and so that was all good. But let's talk about Jussie.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because it went from being he could have just apologized, he could have just said he was sorry, to now he has been sentenced to 150 days for his hate crime hoax. And 2 years of, I think it's supervised probation, which, when you're rich, that really doesn't mean a whole lot. It just means he's on probation for 2 years. While he was in the courtroom, he gave a speech saying that he was innocent, that, he agrees with the judge, but this was all unfair. Then he starts saying that if anything happens to him, that it was not suicide. It was not suicide. He didn't kill himself. My whole mindset was, no one cares. I'm not sure why you're saying that, because no one cares. Like, not in we don't care that you died, but do you really think someone was going to set you up to look like you died in prison? Is that what he's thinking? It looked like he is setting himself up for some kind of big creators. Once I get out of jail, this is going to be a TV series, content on YouTube. I got a whole plan after this, so I have to make it as big as possible. Walking out with the fist. It was just ridiculous to me.
Well, what other play does he have right now?
He has none.
Nobody cares. He's got great music out there. He was.
Yeah, he's the Black Tupac. He's the gay Tupac. Of course, he's got good music out there. He called himself the gay Tupac.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Google it. Everybody watching right now, go Google it. He called himself the gay Tupac. You want me to be lying? You want this to be the one time?
I absolutely want that to be a total lie that he said some old crazy crap like he the gay Tupac. Man, stop. You ain't out in these streets. First of all, you went out there with a Clorox box and some thread that you got from doggone Hobby Lobby, put it around your neck with a fully intact Subway sandwich, and then wanted to claim you got your behind whooped by a couple of Nigerians. Man, stop it.
Here's my whole thing, and I think we didn't talk about this because we might not have been on the air. We've been so back and forth.
Yeah.
Guys, we promised we're going to be consistent moving forward. But what was the real plan? So you went out in Chicago weather, freezing cold, everything shut down because it's snow up to here. It's a polar vortex. I didn't even know what that meant before this.
Yeah.
But you went out for a Subway sandwich.
Been in Florida all your life. Yeah.
I have, but you went out for a Subway sandwich.
Right.
I didn't even want to go out this morning to go get milk for my children. It was only 40 degrees. I was like, that'll be okay. They can drink water.
Yeah. Everything was going on. This was, everything was going on with all the stuff we've dealt with for the last 10 years. And then all of a sudden you're going to try this mess. And then we sitting back, all the people in the streets who are out here being active and they fighting all. And you going to set us back because Lord knows the right wing trolls are like, oh, see.
And see, this is why the judge, a lot of people are, and let's talk about the whataboutism. A lot of people are saying, oh, the people from the college admissions scandal, they didn't get as much time. Yes, they did. Every parent from the college admissions scandal all got 6 months minimum. Maximo, who's married to the Full House lady, he got 6 months and then a whole 7 months of house arrest he had to serve. She got 5 months in jail. All the whataboutism kills me. The reason why the judge was so harsh on Jussie is because, guys, he has set the movement back. For if someone commits a hate crime, they're going to be like, oh, we really can't believe you because, the Jussie thing happened a while ago. That's what everybody's going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to call it getting Jussied, or it's the Jussie syndrome, or the Jussie hoax, or getting Smollet. It's going to have a name that just makes everybody's real situation like it's not real. And that's not okay. That's damaging.
It's not. And it's really, I swear, man, and you guys mark my words, movement has got to happen. Things have got to happen to really solidify positions because Lord knows when we get into the next election cycle, they're going to find if it's not Trump, which we know it's going to be Trump, but if it's not Trump, whoever's going to be the second Trump, it's going to be DeSantis. It's going to get ugly, guys. And so we don't have time to be dealing with these nonsense. If you don't get out here in the public eye, you're a public figure, and you want to scream uncle or you want to scream cry wolf, we don't have no time for that. So, Jussie, go do your time. I think you got, 130, 150 days. Go write a book.
And they're not going to make him serve those full 150 days. He's probably going to do 2 months and get let out because they really don't have time for people like Jussie Smollet. They really just you just need to learn your lesson.
Yeah.
Sitting this time out, and then we'll let you go. If he just would have apologized, none of this would have gotten this far. Do you think it would have gotten this far?
No, it wouldn't have gotten this far. But that would be too much like right for him to have apologized. But it's one of them things where once you went down this road, you had to ride that thing out and hope that it just didn't come back.
Runaway train. It's a runaway train.
Yeah, you couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop it from there. And so.
And to my good girl Journey, his sister, who has an amazing career right now, Lovecraft Country, Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. What was the next one?
No, I was saying Lovecraft Country, which they canceled, and the Harley Quinn thing. Never heard of that either. Go ahead.
Harley Quinn from DC,
Did she play in that? I guess she did with the other.
She's Black Canary.
Did you say like that's supposed to mean something to me? Black Canary. Okay. Well, go ahead, but she's great. But I'm with you. She's great.
She's been silent most of this time. She's just gone and been behind her brother at the court, which as a sibling you should do. Whether your brother is an idiot or not, you sit behind, as long as there wasn't no rape or no murder, you just sit behind them and just, okay. Well, she's actually got on social media and said, Jussie is innocent and you don't have to believe in his innocence to believe he should be free. Free Jussie.
Innocent.
She's going down a dangerous road that could harm her career, and I don't like it. I don't.
It's her brother. And we're in a place in this time where facts don't matter.
But wait, and then she went on to say blacks are incarcerated in state prisons at nearly 5 times the rate of white Americans. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, this is not the time to spew those statistics. This Jussie, and here's the thing: is it Smollett or Smollet?
I'm in jail. Don't drop the soap. That is what it is.
Oh, time to move on.
Oh wait, that's a bad joke to make because he's actually gay. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. No.
Yeah, moving on.
Let me clean that up real quick. That's not what I meant. It's that his name doesn't matter because it's not going to be in the lexicon of anything anymore. You have ruined. You went on Empire as a gay black man and bust the doors wide open for all these gay black men, and then you ruined it because you wanted to have sex with your Nigerian trainer. The whole story
is that the genesis of all of this? I don't know.
That's one of the stories. There's like 5 roaming around that he's told that don't make any sense. He kept the noose on till the police got there. I'm not keeping a noose on my neck. He still had the sandwich. If I jump somebody, I'm taking your sandwich.
Or I'm at least smacking out your hand and the lettuce and everything gonna be everywhere, sucker.
So you carried the sandwich and the noose back home with you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This stuff is weird. In other news, I saw recently that Tevin Campbell supposedly he came out and confirmed that he was gay.
Was he in the closet? Was Tevin Campbell in the closet?
I guess he thought he was, but everybody pretty much assumed that he was gay. It wasn't.
Wait a minute. That's like when DeBrat came out.
And her wife is loaded. Do you know about her wife?
Big Booty Judy? Yeah, everybody knows Big Booty Judy.
Oh, I didn't know about Big Booty Judy until last week.
That's her name. That's her brand.
Well, I know. I learned about her last year when I heard that she was dating the Brat, and finally it was like, okay, now it's out. Something that we all knew. We pretty much knew the Brat was probably gay, and so and I saw the research on her. She got the key to the city of New Orleans. She's like a major a brand person in hair care, and
she's a big deal. Of money. She has turned her little social media following that she had way before the Brat and turned it into this gigantic business between the real estate and the beauty stuff. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, she brought when they first got together, I think they were together for maybe a year. For the Brat's birthday, she bought her a customized Bentley.
You're right.
Or customized Rolls Royce.
Right. One of them. Yeah, I saw that last year. So anyway, it's crazy. It's really crazy. So anyway, you're listening to Watching Life Full Circle. I'm Miguel. That's Kia, and so we back in this joint. So what else is on? So we have not talked about Ukraine. We have not talked about Russia. That wasn't on our original list, and we'll get back to our original list. But I think we are so. I don't know about me. I don't know about you. Let me speak for myself.
Okay.
News has been so crazy for the last 6 or 7 years that unfortunately we are so desensitized as a community. There's a whole war going on in Eastern Europe. I saw recently a journalist, a former New York Times journalist was killed yesterday, I believe it was. They hit a capital that's about 15 miles from Poland, which is a NATO country, I believe.
Yes.
And so
which pretty much set off more than I think anybody. That made it worse, basically.
Yeah. We this is really and especially with so many members of our community, so many members of our family that are in the military, especially my wife, West Point, and all that. This is getting concerning, about how exactly this is going to manifest. What we do know is that it's manifesting in $5 a gallon gas prices, and for regular.
It's so funny. I was putting premium in our truck, and I looked at my husband. I was like, do we really need to put premium in the truck right now? Could I go down? He's like, you can only really go down to mid-grade. You've got a mid-grade, but that's really all you can do because it's expensive. I mean, $5 a gallon of gas. No one has $5 a gallon of gas right now. That's crazy.
Well,
and even outside of that, I was interviewing a possible new team member for an agency that I just quit. Shout out to them. And yeah, I had to. And
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to the guy. The guy was giving me all this information. I knew he was European, but didn't really realize. It just dawned on me. I was like, "Hey, where are you located so we can make sure we have your hours down?" He's like, "I live in the Ukraine." And I said, "Right now?" He said, "Yes." And it just made me stop interviewing him and go, "Are you safe? Are you okay?" He's like, "Yes, we're in a side of town that's really safe. It's just really hard to get things. It's hard to get this. It's hard to get that." And it just made me go, that's crazy to me that you're even doing this interview. Like, I know you guys probably need to work, and remote work's the only work they can do, but I can't imagine. I couldn't imagine.
No, that's the thing that, you know, we take a lot of this stuff for granted, man. You know, we really do. And especially, here's a difference, and I'm hoping that will help us to end these conflicts quicker than we've seen in, you know, World War II back in the 1940s. What was it? The levels of communication, ability to get the word out, and to have pressure from a media standpoint, it obviously is at a much better level than it is now, than it was then. The propaganda machine is not going to work the way it worked back then, right? There's too many, unless they cut off the internet, which I'm sure they're trying. But the ability to get the word out. But when I see, you know, Anderson Cooper and all the news people are there, and Fox got their team there, and whatever. There's and then of course the people on the ground. You know, I was listening to a Clubhouse, or actually it was a fan base joint. And one thing about Twitter is that of all the mediums that have gone through all of their different iterations, Twitter continues to survive, and I think it's because of the fact that it is the people. If you want to find out something in the moment, you go to Twitter, you hit search, you get some information. Now, you're going to get a whole bunch of garbage, but you can filter through and say, okay, that's a credible source. Okay, let me dig into that particular link. But then it starts, if you start to see, and so that's something that keeps Twitter where it's at. As long as we got Twitter and we got all these media outlets and things that are telling us about what's going on, Putin's going to have a lot of pressure on him.
And he does now. If we look at all the list of sanctions, if I would have known we were talking about this, I would have pulled them all up. But a lot of the other European countries, America, Canada, Mexico, they're putting hardcore sanctions. I mean, big brands like McDonald's, Coca-Cola are pulling out. Coca-Cola basically said, we're pulling out everything but milk and baby formula. Figure it out.
You know, and that's a start. But at the same time, our number one ally, Israel has not stopped doing business with Russia. The Arabs have not stopped doing business with Russia.
They're not.
So we want to talk about how much power and how much influence we have, and you can't get, you know, our main so-called ally, especially Israel, to be in line with us. How much is Israel in line with us? They love taking, that's a whole nother conversation. They love taking our support and our money and our military support and all of that. But now it's, you know, the rubber's hitting the road, because this whole Russia situation, you know, there's a lot of countries right there that once he decides to get through Ukraine. Now, Ukraine is 40 million people. It's not a small country.
No.
It ain't going to be easy for them to take over that country. It's going to be a lot, you know, it's going to be tough.
A lot of casualties. And we're not talking military casualties. We're talking everyday people. Maternity wards being shut down. And then Russian propaganda saying, like, oh, no, those are just actresses. That maternity ward has been shut down for months. And they're like, no, these women were actually like, they had to be moved out, or said, if you can walk, if your contractions aren't that bad, you need to walk and we need to get to safety. That's real. These things are really happening.
This stuff is really happening. And so as we continue to look at this world, and we worry about our first world problems of the price of gas, take into account that that this stuff is going on the other side of the world. So we'll keep up with that. I did drop that in unexpectedly.
Let's change something really quick. We can't say it's a first world problem, because you and I, we got good jobs. We can afford the gas. But imagine the people who are, you know, just barely making it, just trying to put gas in the car to get to their job or drop their kid off at childcare. It's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal, but it's not life threatening, right? These people, in comparison to the fact that in comparison, it is first world. In comparison, we have been prepared now for the last 2 years and once again, we have the option, as in people like you and I, to work from home. We ain't got to leave much and save that gas. There's people who are frontline workers who have to go out there and figure it out, and I definitely don't want to give the impression we don't feel
Yes.
feel empathy for that, but it's not life threatening,
I get
right?
it. Get it.
And that is a difference. All right, let's switch gears. Let's get back. Let's talk about Ryan Coogler. So for folks who have not been paying attention to the Ryan Coogler situation, first of all, but some people say, who is Ryan Coogler? Ryan Coogler being the director of the biggest grossing black film probably ever. I don't think there's any film directed by a black director that's ever done better than Black Panther. So Ryan
No.
Coogler is
And he did Creed. He also did Creed.
and he also did Creed. He also did Fruitvale Station. For some people may
He
not
did Fruitvale
remember.
Station, yes.
So he's worked with Michael B. Jordan on quite a few projects. Young dude, I doubt he's 40 yet. He might be. I don't think he's quite 40 yet. So
he's 35.
Right. So he's still a young guy. And
he's younger than me. Wow.
Right. He's still a young guy, still getting it done. So here's the thing: when that story first came out, I've had this thing over the last couple of years and
tell the people the story.
Okay, you tell the people the story. That's what you normally do. You go ahead.
So basically, the story that we're going to talk about really quick is Ryan Coogler went into a Bank of America in Atlanta. He told his friends to come along in the van just to wait a second or something. He goes in and asks for a $10,000 withdrawal. It's Ryan Coogler, he's the director. It's not too far out of realm, but he comes in there with a sweatshirt, hoodie, Scully, and a regular mask that you have to wear, of course, for safety precautions. He hands the lady the deposit slip and has a note on the back about being discreet, small bills, count it in the back. She, who was a black woman, a pregnant black woman, she gets a flag on it, even though he has his debit card, has his ID. She gets a flag on it, goes talk to her manager, tells the manager she feel uncomfortable, and the manager, being a lazy person, goes, if you feel like that, then just call the police. That's not a real manager response. So she calls the police. The police come and detain him, and I think they might have had guns drawn. I'm not sure. But once they got him outside, they were like, are you serious? Let him go. And then went to go talk to the bank, like, so y'all didn't decide to do nothing else? Y'all just called us. This happened back in January, and Ryan said he had it all. He talked to Bank of America, had it, satisfied, blah blah blah. So that's the story.
So let me just say that if some of us and many of us do bank with Bank of America, Bank of America will cut your debit card clean off if they think that you were not supposed to get two fries with that shake. It's just like they will cut you off in a minute, and you got to call them and yes, I made that purchase. Can you turn my card back on? Here's the thing. When I first with Ryan Coogler and I saw the situation, I thought about this from my thoughts a couple of years ago when people started wearing masks every day, and the whole issue with the health concerns. I said, there's a lot of people walking around in these streets right now that you can't see their faces. And
this is true.
And so criminals are going to take advantage of that opportunity, and it's going to make people more uncomfortable. Atlanta has been having a rash of crime. We got a new mayor. That just came in January. I'm sure they're testing him.
Is there a bigger word than rash? What's a bigger word than rash? Can we call it a spree or like an extravaganza?
We're not going to get into synonyms right now. It's the rash. We're going to roll with rash right now. Okay. It's been, I went to Nudist concert and got my truck broken into. I came out like, come on, dude. Man, yeah. Anyway, but here's the thing. $12,000 is not a lot of money, guys. It's relative. When you go to Bank of America, you put your debit card in the machine before they even start a conversation with you. So, okay, you got a debit card, so you know that this is, and then he showed you his ID, and then you like, okay. And then he says up there, and I said, if I'm a wealthy person, which obviously he is, I don't want the scammers to see me in line and see me walk out here with these fat knot, and follow me, knock me over my head, and want to take this money. I don't know where in Atlanta he's shooting. I don't know where he's living in Atlanta. Atlanta's small. It's it is relatively small. A lot of these studios are not far. Tyler Perry's studio is 5 minutes from the hood. So
yes, and Black Atlanta, guys, is small. Like it's weird how Atlanta actually it is smaller. Like it's weird how Atlanta is. It seems like a giant city. It's really not.
Yeah, we all pretty much know each other at least by face. In certain we pretty much all know each other at least by face. So yeah, man. So when it came down, and then I've heard different people say, he should have took his mask off, blah blah blah. If he walked into a bank and he didn't have his mask on and didn't have security, people are like, Ain't you that? Can I get a selfie?
No,
No, I'm here to pull $12,000 out the bank.
First of all, let's not do that. Most people, even black people, cannot pick Ryan Coogler out of a lineup. He could be standing behind me in CVS. I'd be like, oh my God, did we go to high school? I think we went to high school together. I would not go, would you honestly go, oh, this is Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther. Ryan Coogler has been able to probably maneuver a certain way because he looks like the regular guy you went to college with.
And so I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But there's a lot of people walking around Atlanta that are successful in doing a lot of different things. That 12 grand ain't a whole lot of money. It's not unusual. So if you are in the criminal space and you want to see who's pulling out some cash or who you can rob the next person, you might be hanging around near banks. And all of a sudden you see this dude coming out because you come out with these cash. Now the other people say, well, who is he paying with cash? That ain't none of your business who he paying with cash. And
it's not any of our business, but doesn't that seem kind of weird? You're pulling out 10K of cash. Why? I know it's none of our business, but Miguel, 10K of cash, where are you going? Like, what's that for? I know it's none of our business.
There's some people who still like to deal in cash. They still like to deal in cash in a strip club. So maybe he was getting some money for the strip club. I don't know. And
that makes a lot of sense. See that right there? No one else has said that. You saying that right now just made me go, oh, of course.
There's still people.
You use your card in the strip club to get cash. They charge you 10%. Don't ask me how I know that. I'm just saying. They charge you 10%.
Nah, you know more than I do. But the point being, the discretion should have been. Here's the thing: if I'm going to be a robber, or if I'm a bank teller, I don't know how their training go, and I've heard people talk about the training, and none of that made sense that he was trying to steal anything. If he's put his card in the machine, and it's popped up on your screen that this guy's got $100,000 in his account, which I'm sure he got a lot more. Right, flagged it for what does that mean?
They never said what was flagged. The teller on 911 saying that when she went to her manager, she said, "I got an alert." I'm not sure what that alert said. It could have been like, double check if this is Mr. Coogler. It could have said a bunch of things. Maybe she just saw the flashing red triangle and was like, I need to go tell somebody. I'm not sure. But she just handled it. Bank of America really didn't handle this poorly. I doubt this girl has a job still or the manager because it really was handled poorly. And the police, thank God, they handled this the right way and didn't come in there full guns blazing.
Yeah, I'm saying it. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that once he said his name or even said Black Panther, you made you think like, oh, because here's the thing: it's Atlanta. Everything's being shot here now. It's not like it's an odd thing that I'm here in the town, I'm shooting Black Panther. Oh, and by the way, I got a little bit more than $10,000 in the bank. So, So,
but I appreciate the cops going back in and talking to them like, what did y'all think was happening? Like, why did y'all call us?
There's a couple.
A lot of cops don't do that.
Right. Like there's different ways. And I don't know what Bank of America's policies are. Do you pull that person to a separate back office? They got them little offices at Bank of America and handle it over there. There's different ways you could have been doing it. Because I'm assuming that this is not like something that doesn't often happen. If you're because think about it, here's the thing. And I know this for a fact. If you're in the construction business and you're trying to pay some brothers you picked up from Home Depot under the table, they want to get paid in cash. Yes. So this is not like this is an odd thing for somebody to come out, and $10,000 is not in it's not a lot of money. Let's just keep it real. If you're in business, if you're an entrepreneur, it's not a lot of money, guys. It is,
And even if you're a GM for a store, my husband was a GM for an auto parts store.
Right.
They had to make that deposit at the end of the day or midday. And we're not talking about $500, $600. We're talking about a couple $1,000s that they had to roll up, put in the rubber band, make sure it's counted, take to the bank, come back.
Right.
They get flagged.
Right. So it's once again, you just don't hear these stories happening. With what's my man Ron Howard going to the bank.
No. Ronnie going to the bank. And also, Ryan, why you have a whole bunch of dudes hanging out in the van waiting on you? He wasn't wrong for what he did, but there's little things in the story that would probably make somebody go, what? Why?
Because here's the thing.
You taking out $12,000, you get your boys hanging in the truck, and you wrote a note on the back of the withdrawal slip. Can you count it in the back and put it in small bills? What?
So here's the thing. Does Ryan have his culpability? Maybe. He's still not even 35 years old. Yeah, I mean, so he's like, you still got your homeboys that who knows, it could be his brothers, his cousins, whatever. But you look at most directors, these cats are not like, you see Ron Howard, he looks like, he's drinking coffee and got bad breath all the time, and you run into him eating Danishes. Like, if you didn't know who Ron Howard was, they are creative people. They're not running around with on their chest saying, I'm a director of the biggest movies
Woody
ever
Allen?
made.
He's a horrible person, but he wore that raggedy hat, that same stupid V-neck sweater, his hideous wife. It's the same thing every time they go to a Knicks game. Ugh.
Right, but it's okay for them to go around and just be normal. But because Ryan Coogler got a Scully on, all of a sudden he's a criminal. So it is what it is. But Bank of America got egg on their face. Ryan Coogler, go ahead and finish Black Panther 2, and no, don't recast Chadwick Boseman's character. All right, let's move on.
No, he has to recast it.
No, you don't.
Yes, no. You know why? Because Black Panther is a Black superhero that needs to be alive for other little kids who want to see Black superheroes. If they just kill him off and he dies and he never gets to have more adventures for other little kids coming up, I don't think that's fair. That's not right.
You don't need to recast him now. If they recast him 15, 20 years from now, then that's a whole nother generation of kids. These kids know Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. We've had 4 or 5 Batmans. A new Batman just came out, and it's the vampire.
A new Batman comes out every 5 years. Every 5 years, got a new Batman. No. It's not like they wait. It is every 5 years. Would you like me to count the Batmans? Because that's something I can do very well. Okay, we'll start. Michael, no, wait. 70s Batman, whose name I can't think of right now. Adam West.
Adam West. That's from the 60s.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton is from the 80s, so that's 20 years. Go ahead.
Val Kilmer.
Don't even remember when he was Batman, but that was like in the 90s, early 2000s. I'm going to go with the 90s for Val Kilmer, but I don't remember him as Batman.
George Clooney.
He played Batman?
Yes, George Clooney played Batman when they had Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. No. Okay. Then there was Christian Bale.
Christian Bale was the best.
Ben Affleck.
By far. Ben Affleck is the worst actor in Hollywood. You know that. Why do you always bring Ben Affleck up to me? Because you know what type of response you're going to get from me. Yes, Ben Affleck. So, and that's like, so Ben Affleck had the shortest run. He had like Justice League. Did he even have his own Batman movie? I know he was in Justice League. He had his own
Batman movie. Well, no, he didn't. It was Batman versus Superman.
Which was terrible. Batman versus Superman and Justice League. And they said, this isn't going to work out.
Well, he actually quit it, but either way. But no. But in the past 10 years, anyway, what we're saying is so we can wrap this up. I hope they do replace him because a new generation of kids deserves a Black Panther.
So,
and I hope they don't make her a woman. No offense to all my sisters out there. That's great, whatever. I think Black Panther should always, I think it should be a man for now before they start getting it all like, a woman should play her. No, I'm cool on that now.
So, the people who say that, because here's the thing. I'm not a comic book reader. I don't. So my understanding, the original, eventually Shuri becomes Black Panther, is what they're saying is in the comic book. I'm with you. I think Shuri should be exactly,
I thought she became the new Iron Man.
See, well, my understanding, Shuri is the sister character, right?
Yes, Shuri is a sister.
Yeah, my understanding, she becomes new Black Panther. Anyway, as we know, Chadwick Boseman, rest his soul, was his death was very they knew obviously the brother had been sick for a while during that run, but I honestly, and I know this wasn't on what we're supposed to be talking about today, but we here anyway. They got this multiple universe thing. I just think they got to find a way to bring Killmonger back in the story. I think that is the best way to bring Michael B. Jordan back in the story. His character.
Well, what happened? I wasn't.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I was sharing the show. I didn't hear what you said.
No, I said the whole Michael B. Jordan thing. Bringing Killmonger back into the show would be the best play, but it would have to be how did they figure out how to do that?
Well, it's Wakanda. They figured out how to fix him. If they can fix a broken spine, they can fix his little lung issue. It's not a big deal.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing.
Black Panther, he would have to do a whole lot. Wakanda Forever would have to be the emotional healing that he has to go through, that he needs to go through.
Well, the whole alternate universe thing, whatever they call it in the Marvel universe, where it could be the whole
The
time bending, there you go, multiverse. There you go. My daughter knows that stuff much better than me because that's what she knows.
She's gonna make my husband come in here and give a whole Marvel lesson.
We can have a whole separate show on Marvel if you want. I don't have no problem with that at all. But anyway, so to wrap up, Ryan Coogler, get that man his bread and stop. What's the word we always use? It's not typecasting. What do they call it when they profiling? Stop profiling black men.
Stop profiling black people.
Some of us are wealthy, and some of us don't look at $12,000 like it's real money, but it's right.
Some of us are wealthy like Miguel and his family, and some of us are wealthy. No,
you're not putting that lie out there. Nobody coming out here knocking on my door thinking we got stuff under. Anyway, moving on.
I want to be your good friends. I don't even know where you live. I don't even know your address. I don't even know what city it is. So you're good. Next topic. What's next on the list?
All right, next on the list, Naomi Osaka. So let's talk about Naomi Osaka and what is going on with the good sister, who best tennis players in the world, but she having her challenges. What's going on?
Yeah, she's one of the best tennis players in the world, but she has dealt with a lot of mental health issues. She's been very open about that. I think being a professional athlete at her age has been very, very hard. Being biracial has been very, very hard. And she's dealt with a lot. She pulled out of, was it Wimbledon? She pulled out of?
She pulled out of most of 2021. I don't, yeah.
So she said 2021, I really don't want to do this. I'm just not well enough to do it. So she actually is playing now again. She went to the Indian Wells tournament. And while it was dead silence, somebody yells out, Naomi, you suck. And continued to do it when it got ice cold silence. She lost and she got on the mic after the referee. What's the lady called in the chair?
Umpire, probably.
The umpire allowed her to get on the mic and kind of address the crowd and talk to the heckler and tell people how it made her feel. And some people are calling her weak. Some people are saying they're strong. My opinion about this is very simple. There are two sports that you don't do this at, where you don't heckle and yell and say dumb stuff. You know the two sports. Tennis and golf. That is not somewhere where when it's usually very quiet, and
especially
so someone
when they're in their serve or when they're teeing off or whatever. Yeah.
So the fact that this person was not removed is beyond me. Heckling in tennis is just not. It's a respectable sport. This is not football. This is not basketball where it's so loud where they really can't hear you. There's so much going on. They don't do that. So I'm sorry, Naomi is sad. Okay, whatever. But the professionals in these arenas should have been like, yeah, go get so-and-so in the crowd. They need to be exited out. It's not appropriate. How is this appropriate?
It ain't even about being appropriate. It's about exactly what happened. Now Indian Wells tournament is in the news. Nobody gave a rat's about it before now that the issues going on with Naomi Osaka. I being around professional athletes or potential professional athletes, which, I've had the fortune over the years. These are people, man.
Yes.
We just act like these people are obviously they have a talent that many of us cannot compete with. And that's why they're there. But this young girl, she might be 24, 25 now, give or take. She's been in the limelight. She's done very well, as you mentioned. She's biracial. She's 24 years old. She's Haitian and I believe Japanese. Yes. Even though she grew up in the States, which in itself says something about the way she was dealt with the States. I would much rather represent Japan in the Olympics than America, even though I am a American per se. I grew up in America. I look at it all the time. I look at basketball players. I look at, trades that happen. And I don't always look at talent. These are not video game players. These are not 2K. If I put James Harden and Kyrie Irving and James and on the same team in a video game, they're going to be unstoppable. But they got to be in the locker room together. They got to like each other. They got personal lives. They got things. Naomi Osaka has some issues that she's trying to work out. And we got to be able to show some compassion with what she's dealing with. And just because she's one of the top players in the world doesn't mean that you have the right to treat her like trash when you feel like it. I watched this Williams sisters over the last 20 years, and you just know. And with my daughter having played tennis, and we would go out and be at some of these tournaments, and the way racism in tennis exists, it still exists.
Very much so. It's very.
It absolutely exists, and so to think that Indian Wells, where is that? What country is that? Or is that in America?
I think it's hold on. I have to look up.
I want to say that might be in Florida. But because
all racism exists in Florida. Thanks, Miguel. I'm just kidding.
So the whole thing about that they're dealing with, you just look at it and you just say, okay, that is the one thing. Her talent, you can't beat her strictly on talent. So what do you have to do? You want to try to mentally disturb her in such a way that you hope that she performs less. And so Indian Wells don't care. They're not gonna run that heckler out of there because that's part of the entertainment value. And Indian Wells has a history.
California.
Indian Wells. Now that I think about it, Indian Wells has a terrible history. There's a story from back in the day. I believe Venus Williams did not play Indian Wells for a long time because there was some history.
Yes, and that's the video that Naomi referenced because when Venus and Serena on the field. Yeah. And people were just saying racial stuff left, right, and sideways in the video of it. And she said with her getting heckled, it made her understand how they felt. And that's when she started to cry.
Yeah.
And this isn't the first time someone has been heckled to a point where it was not appropriate. Remember, I think it was maybe 6 months ago when somebody was sitting in the crowd at the Lakers game and started saying that LeBron's son should die.
Yeah. LeBron had him put out, and now that's happened a couple of times this year. Yes, that's happened a couple of times this year. It's becoming more prevalent with these basketball players saying, "I don't have to take this."
It's not appropriate. There's one thing to yell out, "You suck," or "We hate you." Go my team.
Right.
You're wishing death on somebody's child.
Yeah, that's
What's
the type.
Wrong with you?
Yeah, that's the type of stuff that get. Yeah, no. I just. Basketball is a game, and from a spectator standpoint, I've been, when you go to a basketball game, you are right there. Like if you get seats next to the Laker bench, it ain't like it's they did that for about a year where they kind of kept everybody away from them. But for the most part, this year it's back to normal. You are literally right there.
You can feel their feet running up and down the court. Like you can feel the ball bounce, all of that.
Man, if you're crazy enough, you can reach out and touch them guys. Now, you might come back with a nub and security gonna give you a cross-faced chicken wing and get you up out of there. But you're very close. And so same thing relatively for tennis and the way that, if you look at some of the documentaries of Tiger Woods and look at the galleries that will follow Tiger on a golf course, walking thousands of people, going from hole to hole to hole to hole. The pressure these guys and ladies are under, man, it is no joke. It is really no joke, man. And you look at
I could never do it. I mean, I know you and I get on this podcast, and I've done several podcasts. I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's just you, but there's a barrier there.
Right.
With tennis and golf, like you said, them walking side by side, staring at you can see these people's outfits and faces.
Yeah. There's something that, of course, we all want to be as wealthy as whatever we're meant to be. But there's got to be, man. We look at everybody we talked about today between Kanye and DL and Jussie Smollet. And the others. Did we ever get, is it Smollett or Smollet? Did we ever figure that out?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's unemployed.
All right. So
before we wrap, though, you get to pick between your fun topics.
All right.
We got 5 minutes.
All right.
So we can talk Nick Cannon.
Okay.
We can talk the Kardashians. Which bullet would you like to take?
Yeah, we did Kardashians last week, so let's talk about Nick Cannon.
His show was canceled. And not wilding out, his stupid little talk show was canceled. Ira and Morty over there at the studio was like, no, we're good. Oh, we feel so sorry, but your show was canceled after 1 season of being in syndication. And I remember a time where you had to earn syndication. Now, if you're famous enough, they give it to you out the gate and hope it just works out. Is that not the case back in the day?
Yeah, no. Yeah, Oprah Winfrey broke the model. So now it is, like everything else, your name is on it. Kind of like my brother Steve Harvey, who now he's a judge. And they do everything. as long as they put his name in it, they say it's gonna sell. So Nick Cannon got his name on it. It's gonna sell. It just didn't sell to the level that they want.
But do you know why it didn't sell? I don't think people are, and this is what I want to talk about.
Tell me why you think it didn't sell.
He had much stupid stuff going on to be the fun family talk show guy. You can't have 8 babies mamas and be on daytime TV.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot have your penis pic out there and be on people's TV. Miguel, you're in media. Slash PR a little bit.
Yeah.
Is this anything that any studio would want to touch and be like, yeah, we'll promote him as a fun family TV on daytime guy talking to people and having fun kid segments and cooking with all the drama he has going on social media and his real life?
I'm always surprised. I'm always surprised when there are any men on daytime television. Because we as men don't really watch daytime television outside of watching. That's why loudmouth Stephen A. Smith is on all day, because we love to talk about sports during the day.
Well, Dr. Phil has done well.
And Dr. Phil, yes, Dr. Phil has done well. There's always an anomaly, right? And Dr. Phil really, I'm pretty sure if we look at his numbers, I'm pretty sure his demographic are still 35 to 45-year-old white women. So as long as that's who you're serving, whatever you look like doesn't matter. So
that's true. What was Nick's demographic?
It must not have been whatever it was. It didn't work because it got canceled. So you know what you're gonna do? We going back. Voila. You know that works.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Nick, you can't be the daytime fun host during the daytime and then go to that raggedy show and be that other Nick Cannon at nighttime.
Hold on. Nick Cannon can do whatever the beep he wants to do. That's what Nick Cannon feel like. Nick Cannon go from wilding out to hosting one of the primetime shows, talent shows of people swinging off.
Masked Singer.
I forgot about the Masked Singer. I was thinking about the other joint where he's just a host and they got the judges and people are swinging off trampolines and stuff.
He got fired from that after the anti-Semitic stuff.
Okay.
But he still had the Masked Singer, and
you see how much I pay attention to Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is kind of in that Tyler Perry space. Like you gotta respect his business acumen, but from a consumption of content for me, I don't really consume a lot of Nick Cannon stuff. I just don't. You know what I mean? When I watch Wildin' Out, I watch Wildin' Out every now and again because it's kind of, you know, because now you got a lot of, he's bringing in some of the internet famous people are getting jobs
and A-listers. He brings in A-list actors to come on that show and act a fool.
Yeah, they'll come on once, you know, they'll bring them on once a season. But you like the ones that are in the back, some of the people like Jess Hilarious, who I think she's funny. A couple other people that are, you know, DC Young Fly, he's been doing well for a while. And some of the other ones are funny as well. I don't know them as well because it's not my demo. But Wildin' Out is a strong brand. They tried to take it down for a minute, I believe, and I think they renewed it
after the anti-Semitic thing. And MTV was like, between this and ridiculousness is really all we got.
Man, you turn on MTV in the middle on a Monday, and from about 2 p.m. to 11 at night is episode after episode of ridiculousness with the girl who looks like she's always high.
Chanel West Coast.
She look.
They tried to put her on Love and Hip Hop. It did not last. People were like, if you don't get this girl off my screen, we gonna have to fight.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. I thought all she did was Wildin' Out. I mean, ridiculousness. I didn't know she
raps.
I didn't know she was a rapper.
Young Money. She was signed by Lil Wayne and Young Money. But so is everybody. I think my mom has a Young Money contract that I don't know about.
That's what I'm saying. Like I am. We love to get on here and have fun. I am clearly out the demo. When I think about you know this, she's a rapper. I'm like, she's a rapper, really? That's what we doing. The girl who
laughs too hard on ridiculousness
is a rapper. Really? That's what we doing now. So anyway, great show today. If you missed any part of the show, we talked about who we talked about today. Ryan Coogler. We talked about
Ryan Coogler, Jussie Smollett. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out by next week.
Hughley, Kanye West.
Yeah. So if you missed any of the show, make sure you go back. By next week, we're gonna try to do a little bit better job promoting this by next week in the show. And so that we want to get into conversation. So when we have our conversation, it ain't about just about us. We want to talk to you guys. So whether it be Clubhouse or whether it be fan base, I want to push it towards fan base because that's my mans in them. I want to push it towards fan base because just like you didn't know about it, is in the business community they know about it. You know, Ike has raised over $6 million for his app, which sounds like a lot of money until you know that the money that's running Facebook and Meta and all that That's just a drop in the bucket. But he's pushing. And it's monetizing. People are making money using fan base, and so we've been talking about this for years. We're gonna get more serious about whether or not even it's just production costs to say, all right, I mean, y'all can drop a few dollars over here. We might put some affiliate links or something, because we can't sit up here and train people, Kia, about how to do this if we ain't doing it ourselves.
I know. We missed out on so many years, and we could be Joe Budden right now.
Man, we could. Hey, my first response is, but hey, Joe Budden is one of the top podcasts out there. They say he left Spotify. What is he doing now? I don't know. But
he left Spotify, and now he has a partner. Well, he's on Patreon and YouTube, but he has full control of a bunch of stuff, like full control. And he just had an interview with Nicki Minaj, and it's like still trending. Still one of the top interviews that she's done and he's done.
Yeah, and that's something I'm gonna reach out to a couple of my people. We're gonna have to start having more guests on here. I'm gonna see if I can get Ike to come on the show, because it's one thing we talked about. People are so worried about being famous. If you being trendy, is it really making you money? Now, Joe Budden should, but there's a lot of people who got millions and millions of views on TikTok and Instagram, and they ain't made a dime off that stuff. And then they turn right back around and be like, why is Instagram turning down the engagement on my stuff? Doesn't matter. You just want people to say they saw you on TikTok and Instagram. Go sell something. Go sell some hair care products. Go get a clothing line. Do something besides get up here and just sing and dance all the time.
I'm just trying to get a Fashion Nova partnership so I can get free clothes. That's really my goal with this. That's
okay.
All I really want to do.
All right. Well, we're going to work on getting you some higher goals, but let's work on your fashionista joint so you get to sell some sundresses for the summer, and then we'll start there.
It.
We'll start there. We'll start working. You are a black mudder. Is that what it's called? Or what is it? This thing?
I thought you were going to say black mother. You're trying to say black mudder, like tough mudder. Yeah,
tough mudder. So I'm pretty sure you can be the ambassador for black mudders, right?
And I think it's really cool. After our show, a couple people reached out to me about doing the next one, which is in November. So hopefully, I have a whole team, at least 5 black women, plus my Jewish friend and my Asian friend that started this, and we'll all be able to mud together.
There you go. How about we need some more diversity on the show. Get your Jewish friends and your Asian friends, and we gonna produce your own side show, Life Full Circle, where y'all talk about being multicultural friends. We need that.
I can do that. I can make that happen. Maddie and Diane, we can do it.
Yeah, I'll sit there and I'll moderate and I'll laugh and giggle and let y'all do y'all thing. You know what I mean? So anyway, Life Full Circle, Miguel Lloyd, Kia Gainey. I called you Gainey. Kia Shakur.
It's been Kia Shakur for some years now. It just happened.
Omar, I just hope when I see Omar, he don't punch me in the throat, man. Tell him don't punch me in the throat.
No.
So anyway, we'll see y'all next week, and make sure y'all get y'all fan base accounts and Clubhouse. Oh man, I gotta talk to you about this Clubhouse, man. I was on Clubhouse.
We'll stay on after for a few minutes.
All right, peace, y'all.
Bye, guys.